Have you been wanting to get into contests but have no idea where to start? Trust me, I've been there, I've been very lost with it. So let's do it together. Pull up a chair, let's get comfy, let's see what works for us. The number one rule before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all is just have fun with it. You could go down the straight and narrow way where you do pre-builds and make sure to have the top percentage of Pokemon performing, or you could go the other way and get more creative with it and have a little storyline with all of your Pokemon. But the main thing is you're having fun whilst doing it. So with that in mind, if you're wanting to build a personalized team from scratch, this is how you do it. You're going to want to choose your game first because different game contests have different mechanics. So you could be making Poffins in one game and Pokeblocks in another, and they're completely different things with completely different metas. Same with the basis of every single contest as well. So it's good to know that. It's also good to know what Pokemon you're going to need for what game, because some Pokemon are not in other games. So it's good to just start with a good baseline so you know where you're going from there. Choose your Pokemon. This is a very personal thing for many different people. The way I like to do it is I like to have a full team of 6 Pokemon, and I like to go for every single category and then have an ace. However, you do not have to do it this way. You can have one ace and you just journey with your ace, or you could have 3 Pokemon that have a variety of different moves to win each contest. There's many ways you can do it, but choosing your Pokemon is good to know, so you know where to go from there. So when building a Pokemon for the contest, there's lots of things to consider, starting with natures. So very much similar to how you would have a competitively built Pokemon, that's also the same with the natures for the contests. So some natures help the category you are wanting to compete in by the taste of the Pokeblocks or Poffins. So for example, a good nature for smartness would be gentle, as those Pokemon tend to like bitter tasting food. So when you're building for a specific category, it's good to go for the ones that give you that extra boost. But if you're planning for your ace, I do like to make it neutral, so you've got a neutral ground and you can compete in all the categories, no buffs, no nothing. It's just baseline, good, neutral when you're doing an ace. Researching moves is super important too, to know what you're doing. So for example, I am going to be doing Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire contests with a Sylveon. I've made her nature as jolly, as that is going to help me with that. And I'm also going to want to see what I can do here. So a good tip is making sure that you're in the right contest category, because I've done it so many times where I've tried to plan out and I'm looking at hoeing contests when I should be looking at contest spectaculars, because each move does a different thing in a different game, like I've said. So make sure you're in the right category for that. And there are so many different ways to do movesets. There's so many ways you can play it. So we could go along the lines of quite safe and simple, and that is with a quite appealing move. It's a great move. It does 4 hearts right off the bat. It's a very simple, you get what you get with it. And the ones that we have here, the moves that we have here are Bubble, Egg Bomb, Ember, Return, and Water Gun. Now, if I'm going to want to use this for my Sylveon, I'm going to have to make sure that she knows it. I'm going to have to make sure she can learn it. So what I'll do is then I will go into Sylveon's Learn set and make sure I'm in the right generation as well. So Generation 6 Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. And then I will just search for what I need. So let's see here. Return, if I spell it right. There we go. So she can learn Return by TM, which is good for us. So that means that we can start learning Return as our first cute move to do a simple basic 4-star hearts. You could also go for something a little bit spicier. Like the move Final Gambit or Memento, which is a move of huge appeal, but using it prevents the user from taking further contest moves, but it does 8 total hearts. So if you want to do a final showstopper move right at the end to get those points, this kind of move is really good for that. However, maybe using it in the first turn not the best idea. This is for those final point movements. So I'm going to want to see if my Piplup can learn these. I don't think I don't think so, but we'll give it a shot anyway. So Final Gambit is a no. And Memento's also a no. So unfortunately, Piplup cannot learn those moves, so won't be able to do that move. And that is also why there is a meta when it comes to contests as well. So some Pokemon will be predispositioned to be very good at contests because they have very high hitting moves. So sometimes some Pokemon won't be able to do those, but it's okay. We're having fun with it. We're seeing what works for us. So if that doesn't end up working for you, there's another way you can go, which is the jamming route, which is in certain games. So you can't do it in the Sinnoh Super Contest, however you can in the Hoenn Contest and the Contest Spectaculars. So the way that jamming works is it basically stops other Pokemon from doing the move. Well, it can do that anyway. So if you wanted to go down that route and have a jamming move, such as badly startles all Pokemon that successfully show their appeal, such as Hail and Sheer Cold in the beauty category, it only does you 2 hearts. However, that means that any Pokemon that has showed their appeal well might not be able to even perform in the next round because they are jammed. Some moves also stop yourself from jamming as well. So for example, like this one, gets Pokemon pumped up, helps prevent nervousness too. So it is able to not get as nervous, so it might not get affected by the jamming. However, it just depends how it wants to go. But there is quite a lot of moves there for that. So if you are building for a beauty category, you have more of an opportunity to learn those moves. You can also go down the combo moves route, meaning that you have a primary and a secondary move. Your primary one, you'll do a little thing first, it will do its thing, and then you'll do your secondary move, and then it will be a big show, and it will be so fun. So what I mean by that is, for example, if we're looking at the cute category, we have first turn rest, and then the follow-up moves could either be Sleep Talk or Snore. So rest, preventing the user from being startled until the turn ends, which is a really good move to have anyway. Stopping being startled helps with jamming and getting nervous and not being able to do your move properly. So it's good to have that anyway. It only does 1 heart. However, you could do a follow-up move. It could either be Sleep Talk or Snore. So Sleep Talk again does 1 heart. Effectiveness varies depending on when it's used. And then you also have Snore for 4 hearts, making the audience quickly grow bored when an appeal move has little effect. So we're going to see if Sylveon can learn these moves first. So if I go on Sylveon's page, rest, we can learn rest. That's really good. Can we learn Sleep Talk? We can learn Sleep Talk. And can we learn Snore? Ooh, we can move to a Snore it. Interesting. Okay, so we can learn all of them. So out of them all, I think maybe we're gonna want to go for Snore. I think Snore's a good standalone. So we're gonna go for Snore. Now for my last move, I'm going to want to go with a cool or tough move. I have primarily cute moves. I do like that. That's kind of the way I like to do things. However, I have found that sometimes if you have a lot of cute moves, you are also more likely to put the bar up, which gives your competitors a reason to put the bar up as well. So I kind of want to see if I can find a move that will either lower the bar or null it so nobody does anything with it. So for cute moves, we could go with temporarily stops the crowd from growing excited, so that's Follow Me or Infestation. So we'll want to go to Sylveon's movesets and see if we can learn Follow Me. Nope. Or Infestation. Nope. So unfortunately we can't go down that route. However, I can go into the cool category and have a little looky at moves that I want to kind of play with here. So maybe the next appeal can be made, the next appeal can be made earlier next turn, which is pretty interesting. Maybe, or we could use Hyper Voice, which will startle all the Pokemon to come before Sylveon, giving us even more of a chance of raising the bar up ourselves. So I think we'll go with that one. Yeah, let's see if Sylveon can learn Hyper Voice. Yeah, we can learn Hyper Voice through the move tutor. I also mentioned aces as well. So aces are the Pokemon that are going to get you through all the contests. They're normally your ribbon masters. They are the one that is associated with you. So for example, with Wallace, Milotic is his ace. And I also like to be very extra about this and try and go through each contest with a certain set of cute with the cool movesets, you don't have to do it this way. You can do it where you just have a mix match and just try and get through the contest that way. However, I just like to be extra about it. Normally my ace as well is someone that can mega evolve if I'm doing the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire contest, because that's a whole thing that's entwined with just that game. The ace is also the one that I normally like to put the scarf on. So it's just, yeah, seeing what works for you for your ace, but that's kind of like how I like to do mine. But apart from that, that's all you really need to know. When you think you have got a fleshed out team, whether you're just doing it with your ace or you're doing it with an entire team, just go out and try it. See what works for you. You're probably going to have to hunt for TMs. You're probably going to have to do some breeding. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to be fun and you're going to win so many ribbons and it's going to be so worth it in the end. So I really hope this video has helped narrow down how to do this stuff, because I struggled for so long. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what things meant what. So hopefully all this stuff helps. I have links in the bio as well to all of the stuff that I've been using to help you out too. And yeah, I want to see what you do. Let me know in the comments below what we're working with, what our builds are, what ribbons are we getting with them. I would love to know. And thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you liked this. We do so much contest stuff here. I'm trying to bring contests back to the mainstream. Pokemon, please give us contests back. Can't wait to see what you all come up with.